Hey y'all, and welcome back to another fan mini episode of Catch That, where we get to know our friends through their favorite R&B songs. I am Naturally Elise, and that's my brother,
JR.
and we are the R&B representatives. And today we are talking to one of our favorite people in the whole wide world, and she knows it. Um, and that is our good sis Chasity Buckley. Hey boo.
Hey y'all, what's going on? So excited to be back on, child. I think I'm just like a regular at this point. It's no
You are.
point of me testing.
Yeah, you're an honorary rep.
Yeah.
No, what you about to say, Elise?
You an honorary rep. We got some honorary ones. We got Zoe, Dart Adams, Keith
You.
Burrows, huh?
I said, huh?
Yeah, y'all are all like honorary reps because y'all have been with us a lot, and not only that, big
Yeah.
supporters. Not just when you're on the show, just when anybody's on, you are like,
Yeah.
"Woo, let's go." So always appreciate that. And yes, so folks should know you by now, and if they don't, I don't even know what they're doing.
Hello.
So, how about you tell us what song you decided to pick today, and if you remember the first time hearing it?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, guys, for having me back on here. And today I'm honored to be back on here again because today I have Johnnie Taylor's Running Out of Lies. Baby, let me tell you something. Johnnie is my heart. Like when it comes down to 70s artists, he's like literally my number one artist I go to. Love Johnnie to this day. I can be honest, the first time, I think I said it on the Vanessa Williams episode, the first time I would say I heard Johnnie, I heard Johnnie was actually in 2001 when I first moved to Louisiana. So when I left Dallas at the end of 2000, bringing in 2001, I actually moved to Louisiana. It was a huge culture shock. You know, y'all coming from a Texas, having that country accent, and then I'm going to a country state like Louisiana, but the Cajun culture, I had to learn how to adjust. But being around my family, it was actually different for me because, coming from Texas is very country-like, different. But I mean, Louisiana has that, but now you have a different culture of blues and more deeper roots in like Cajun culture and Zydeco and stuff like that. So every time I go to my family barbecues, they would always play these doggone people back in the 70s. I'm like, who are these people playing? Then you hear them playing Disco Lady. I'm like, who is Disco Lady? Oh, it's Johnnie Taylor. I'm like, Johnnie? Who is Johnnie Taylor? And then it's crazy, y'all, because it's around the time actually when Johnnie passed in 2000, we lived in the same city, Dallas, Texas.
Oh,
so
wow.
So we lived in Dallas, Texas. So when I left and lived in Louisiana, they would play the infomercials of his greatest hits. Because when people pass, they do like a greatest hits album and stuff like that. So they would play Johnnie Taylor stuff all the time on TV. And I'm like, wait a minute. I hear him at these doggone barbecues at my family house, and now he's on my TV. What's really going on? So I didn't realize that till years later, since I became an adult, that he passed in 2000. But yeah, I just really, really fell in love with him a lot when he had the song called Soul Heaven, and when he bigged up Tupac and Biggie, I said, okay, I like him. I said, okay, cool, I can deal with him. But Running Out of Lies, let me tell you, hitting at the barbecues, and me and my cousins, I was like, what, 11, 12, and my cousins was like maybe 6 or 7. We would just sing the parts, Johnnie, Johnnie, Johnnie. We were singing all that, acting, cutting up a fool because we were like, oh, we don't want to hear this. But I think us hearing this continually all the time, we started catching on to when we was like, okay, this is gonna be played constantly. But I love Johnnie for me, and I think for me, he just became a staple in my family, and we love him to this day. And Johnnie to this day still gets played, and he's one of my top people in the 70s who I love the most.
Here's why I laugh, because Chasity, you really just kind of explained my childhood in a nutshell, because I didn't want to hear Johnnie at all as a kid. Like, I did not want to hear him. I was like, what is this bluesy shit as a kid? Like, I'm like, I don't want to hear this. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 5 or 6. This is the time where this is 92, so I want to hear, you know what I'm saying, Mary and all this shit. I don't want to hear this. So then he's part of the Sam Cooke family. You know what I mean? Because he when Sam Cooke left to go, solo and do the R&B thing, Johnnie Taylor took his place in the Soul Stirrers. Then he left them and went to Sam Cooke's label. It was like, I'm gonna come with you, but then after Sam Cooke died, the label went down, right? So then I just remember hearing this song because then after a while I knew Johnny a little bit, after them playing the hell out of it. You know what I'm saying? And Chasity, my favorite song is I Believe in You and Me. That's my shit. You know what I'm saying? And Who's Making Love? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Stax Museum. You know why, at least. and and those are my joints. So when I heard this, I remember being in South Carolina and being at my aunts in Holly Hill. Shout out to my family in Holly Hill, South Carolina. And I'll never forget, they frying fish outside. Frying fish outside. Everybody's getting their drink on, whatever. The dark liquor in the bed is flowing, and this plays. And I just remember my aunt, one of my aunts, I don't know which one it was like, you better talk to him, Johnny. These men need to know. And I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is he talking about? But then once I got older and really listened to this song, Johnny ain't shit. That's just the bottom. Johnny ain't shit. Because at the end of the day, he is telling us, because he's a philosopher, right? Yep. And he's telling us, listen, I'm telling y'all my story. I'm running out of lies, right? Then you get to the ending, like the breakdown, and he's like, yo, I'm talking to my conscience. My conscience talks to me and tell me, yo, you should be doing this.
Everybody has a conscience. Everybody has a conscience.
Right. But then he says, I make a deal with my conscience. But then, meaning he made a deal with his conscience, is like, oh, all right, I'm going to keep my shit on the low, but I'm going to tell you men, go on and beg to your wife because I'm not. Like, what kind of shit? Like, I'm like, yo, you ain't.
Let me quote it. So... He said, I made a deal with my conscience that if my conscience didn't bother me, I sure wouldn't bother my conscience.
Okay.
He's petty, yo. Petty is shit, yo.
Exactly.
Like how you gonna do some shit like that? Like, yo, petty. But then give you the advice to tell you to go beg for your woman, but I ain't gonna beg for mine. But you go beg for your woman, because how he said in the breakdown, he was like, I know some of y'all men do wrong, right? Oh. Like, it's like, Johnny, you ain't shit at all.
That's why that next track on the Running Out of on the album, I love this Eargasm. Shout out to Timogen for giving me this lovely vibe.
Oh yeah. Who's Timogen again?
My boo. I love him. We're DC fans.
Stop it. I don't know. He's another honorary rep. Don't play like that.
I don't know that guy. I gotta meet him.
Don't come for my brother. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I can't wait till you see it.
But no, Joe, it's funny you said that. I love that you talked about the breakdown of running out of lies, because like we said in men, a lot of men are not being honest in faithful relationships, women as well, both sides. Right. But if you think about the next track in Eargasm, he's talking about somebody getting it. He mad because she cheated. So it's like, my thing about it is, Johnny, you not being honest and you running out of lies, but you're not telling the truth. But the next track, you getting mad at her because she getting some too. So it's like, it's a give and take in relationships when people do wrong. But I think, and we talking about the 70s. So in the 70s, people are talking about it, but are they really addressing the issues or what it is now? Back then, it was very like, we just talked about with side kids and all this other mess like that. When people are not being honest and having these secret relationships, then years later, people are coming to find out about other people. It really, really tells a story about why people are not telling the truth. And I think what he's saying and running out of lies, I know I'm not being honest in this relationship, but I don't know what to do. But at the end of the day, you're not really telling people how to get out of this situation. You know what I'm saying? Right. You just telling them to be dishonest. But then at the end of the day, he's talking about, I'm talking to my conscience, but your conscience is supposed to be telling you the right thing, not the wrong thing, So Johnny made me like, he had his pimp ways and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, you can't get mad when somebody...
I know you ain't act like he had a little bit of pimp ways.
I've been told stories about Johnnie Taylor in the 2000s.
Okay, girl.
Yeah,
Johnny make me think of something I say all the time. I be like, I'm self-aware. I just choose not to change my behavior. But I'm
Thank you.
completely aware of what I'm doing and that it ain't right or that it's shady. I just choose not to fix it.
But I'm gonna tell you to fix it. That's what he's doing. Like he's telling you to fix it, but I ain't fixing it.
It's like parents and grandparents saying, do as I do. I mean, do as I say, not as I do.
Dude,
Fuck
yeah.
you. No,
Right.
that's
Yeah,
not how
absolutely.
this works.
I love that you brought that up too, Chastity, because the song before this, he's saying the most beautiful girl in the world. He's saying that. Then the next song, he's running out of lies.
yeah.
Then he said he about to kill somebody. Somebody gonna get it because she's going to get it. Johnny, now. That's why I be like, he ain't shit, yo. And this had to be the album that really sold. This was the album that really sold.
I mean, and it's crazy, y'all. Like you said,
People could relate.
It's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece, and for him to be the first artist in history, and it wasn't even, and like I said, Run Out Loud is a B-side cut, and it's a fan favorite. But the song that really catapulted his career was Disco Lady and made him the first artist in history. We talking about the United States.
Yeah.
Elvis, he beat Elvis. We talking about first as a single, like a single platinum single. That's huge. So for him to sell 1 million records in 1976, a lot of people wasn't doing that. So for him to make history, and this is around the time like what Al Green's blowing up. Al Green is that dude at this point.
Yeah, this is like 76. This is kind of like Philly is killing it. You know, Stevie and Marvin is killing it, and they can't go. You know what I'm saying? But Johnny, of all people that didn't really have the backing like they did, like any of that. But he was with Columbia by this time, if I'm not right? So he was with Columbia because he left Stax and went to Columbia. So Columbia kind of gave him a little bit more backing this time. You know what I mean? So, and I mean, Disco Lady is the jam. Like, I mean, come on. Like, that is the jam. Yeah. But
I heard that song so much in my youth because, you know, my people, Southern as well. So, and my people in Georgia, you know, Savannah. So, all the blues stuff, I heard a lot of it. And then, of course, you're going to hear more of the blues stuff with Johnny because he was the kind of the most popular of them. That crossed over and stuff. So so you of course gonna hear that because even regular people hear it, you know.
Like him and Tyrone Davis was the ones that did really blues. You know what I'm saying? Even though they considered it R&B for real, but that was even, I mean, rhythm and blues. But but I just caught that, like, really. But it's like with them two, they were more just bluesy to me. Like it was like they story told in their songs, like for real. Even though it could have been right, could have been wrong, but they just told stories in it. You know what I mean? And I just think this song, that's why we call Johnny the philosopher, because of the way he came off in these songs. Like you be like, yo, I'm gonna listen to him. You know what I mean? Even though he might be not telling me right, but I hear you. You know what I'm saying? So I did. And did y'all ever hear Etta James's version?
No, I didn't know she had a version of Run Out of Lies.
Yes.
I didn't know it's been sampled. It's been sampled. Some people in France sampled this song. I was like, what?
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew, Etta, she did it. It was like in 96. She did it.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, Etta did it the way she did it. You know what I mean? But I mean, at the end of the day, I think Johnny did it some justice. You know what I'm saying? I just love that. You know, how that I guess the conscience comes in and Johnny.
My favorite part of the song, y'all, is I said, come on, women in the back. The background, and you know what's amazing? I feel like the women could have been the ones been the conscious, like in the story, because like we always talk about the background vocals and stuff like that, but they were the ones that was kind of like telling him to, like, you know, tick tock doing wrong. You know, I'm telling you, like, don't do it.
You know what's so crazy? On this album, it's so many people that was a part of this. Like you had Bernie Waddell from Parliament Funkadelic was on it. You had Bootsy Collins on it. You had Richard Pistol Allen, who's from the Funk Brothers, that was playing on it. So you had a lot of players on this joint. You know what I mean? That connected all them dots. You had Motown in there. You had Parliament Funkadelic in there. You had He Came from Stats. So it was all of that put in. And I think, you know, this song is just, I couldn't believe it. Like when you said, because when you said you picked the record, and I actually went online, a lot of people love this record. I did not know that. Like, you think, when you think of Johnny, I'm thinking of, again, Who's Making Love. Everybody knows that one. Or the Jody record. You know what I mean? That one. Yes, that. Or obviously Disco Lady and I Believe in You and Me. And you thinking of that. I'm never thinking that people really love like they B-sides like that. You know what I mean? And when I was looking at the comments, it was like so many people was like, yo, I love this record. This record is amazing. But then you go on like some of his other B cuts, and I'm like, oh shit, you got people like me. And then I read in the comments, a lot of them be like, I was a kid and I didn't like this shit, but I love it now. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. But Running Out of Lies is the one though. Like this joint is and
I think the Ricky Smiley video was enough in itself when he does it at his game.
Girl, she sent me that. And I was like, all right, I'm at work, so I'm gonna watch it. Let me tell you something. That old man with his mask on went off. You hear me? He went off, and everybody is singing "Run Out of Alibis," and I'm like, yo, and it's young people in this audience, like around our age as well, and they singing it right along with him. So you know that old man felt so good, because I know sometimes you can get up there, ain't nobody with you, and it's been like, damn. But he was like, oh, we really family up in this motherfucker, like, cool. The joke was dope. Like, it was so dope. I was bugging out at work. I said, only Chasity, only her, only.
Had to do my research. But I'm really happy that this album right here set the tone for, I feel like, for a lot. Because when I sit and think about Run Out Lives, it made me think about Confessions a little bit with Usher. Because telling stories, telling, understanding about not being truthful, being dishonest. And I feel like it could have been influential a little bit. He may not recognize it, but you can tell with the storytelling from a male's perspective that you can kind of portray some type of truth or a lie, or not even make people understand, or make people think. You know what I'm saying? Maybe people gravitate. So for me, Johnny has that. I feel why, like, I understand why he's the philosopher, so because he makes people understand with his words that they speak truth, and he has a voice like a pastor, preacher, because he comes from that gospel roots. So seeing that, I feel that Johnny really is a person that needs to get his flowers for the contribution he's made in this industry. You know what I'm saying? And they don't talk about it. It's really weird.
Yeah. A lot of people don't talk about Johnny. That's why I love when I did the video and I talked about artists that I really don't feel like get shine. Yes. And Tyrone and Johnny, they don't get the love like they should with us. Yeah. Like, I can understand mainstream and they only know that, but they don't get credit like with us. And I don't see a lot of people talking about him. And I'm like, man, even though Johnny was a little pimp and all that good stuff and all that, but the dude's music was great and he got hits. You know what I mean? And you were saying that Usher might not know he was inspired by, with Confessions, a song like Confessions. I mean, was it his story anyway? What? No comment. Look at y'all, boom!
It wasn't burned. It wasn't burned.
We ain't gonna do it. Nope. You ain't gonna have nobody throwing no shots at me on another freaking on IG. No, ma'am.
You know what? I think a lot of artists from back then, it's like it's kind of the same thing that happened with hip hop. I just had this thought to where artists that were from the South, and like proudly Southern, like the way you knew that where they was from, they didn't get the same shine as folks out of Philly, out of Detroit, out of New York, which is so funny because where you think them people came from?
The South.
Where you think their grandma or their mama came from, or them came from?
That's what Sean from Boys the Man said. Sean from Boys the Man from Philly. He said I think his mom's side, they're from Georgia. He's related to Tiny from Escape, excuse me, Lord. But Tiny from Escape, y'all don't kill me like.
I'm like, wait a minute.
I can't myself. I'm sorry, look, guys. Look, as we fans, don't you kill me in this episode.
They know you love. They know that you love the girls.
But no, he's related to Tiny from Escape. So, like you said, at least you're right. If he's from Philly and got a cousin Tiny from Escape, that makes
and you know her daddy was from the Tams, which they Southern, so
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a thing with hip hop for a long time. They wouldn't accept if you weren't from New York, Philly, Detroit. They weren't really trying to hear all that. They wouldn't even give it a chance. Like, it's one thing to hear something and not like it, but then to just, before you even hear it, be like, nah, you know, these country ass niggas. Like, they're the little cousins. Stop playing.
My grandparents used to say, like, because they from the South and they came to New York. You know what I'm saying? But they said they will go to the South Carolina and get stuff and bring it back. Wow. So they would make like word of mouth. That's why Tyrone and Bobby and Johnny and all that, Roy C and all them heads, they would bring up here. And a lot of these Northerners would be like, well, who is that? And they'll be like, well, this is Johnnie Taylor. This is. They'd be like, we don't hear that on the radio. And that's why my mom said a lot of charts used to be regional back then. Like, it was so different. And a lot of artists from the South didn't get up to New York. So when people was hearing Johnnie Taylor, probably their first hearing of Johnnie Taylor was probably either Who's Making Love or Disco Lady. That's it. That's it. They probably ain't know no more from him. And they probably knew him from Disco Lady because it was such a big record.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's crazy.
That's a shame that they did us like that because Southern people don't have a problem with, they the most accepting of different regions. Like, even in hip hop, like, they was the first to embrace like the West Coast stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
When New York was shitting on it, even though it was great music coming from there. We were the ones, that's why they would come and tour the South.
Yep.
Amen.
Yep.
At least
for the South and the like Gulf Coast stuff. That's where they would tour.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's sad.
So, that's interesting.
That's
yeah.
Yes.
Y'all Northern elite. Think y'all so
Northerners.
And that y'all are the creators of everything cool. Yeah. Y'all create a lot of cool shit, but everybody do.
Yeah.
You know how your people act? Hey, feel like you want to feel, that's fine. But I don't tell people how to feel. But you know how your cousins do.
Right.
So where if it ain't New York and maybe Philly, then they ain't.
It's like, that's true.
Yeah.
I realize they won't even give it a chance. That's what pissed me off. I understand hearing some stuff. Hey, it's some stuff because I don't like it, but I will listen to it.
Yeah. Right.
You know, I don't love all these girls, but I will listen to it and I will find a thing here, a thing there that I do like. But I'm not gonna just be like, oh, they young, I don't want to hear it. Or, oh, they from this place, I don't want to hear it. Oh, this is foreign, I don't want to hear it. No.
Yeah.
I'm a listener. I'll formulate my opinion, but I'm not gonna just throw it out on from before I even give it a chance.
That's what I'm saying.
I realized that with going to South Carolina in the culture shop because everything was so accepting there. In New York, hell no. Like, it was like, we ain't accepting that. And it sucked because speaking of SWV, they didn't even get love in New York like that. They got it in LA and Kansas before they got love here. And which is nuts to me.
Down south.
The South love them. They love them. You know what I'm saying, bro? But like I said, bro, and like I said too, Johnny could have been closed-minded too, but for him to sing so heavy and talk about the people who passed before he passed, he bigged up Tupac and Biggie, so he loved them. For him to give them a shout out on his song, Johnny didn't care about what it was. He felt like if you made good music, he gonna rock with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what made me really respect him a lot more because I'm just thinking he this old guy that made the 70s music, but when I heard his 90s music and he picked up Biggie and Tupac, I'm like, wait, man, how you know about Biggie and Tupac? Like, well, he
They
knew.
be knowing, dog.
Oh,
They be
yes,
knowing.
so for him to do that record, I was like, wow, Johnny was into the culture. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He really was. And you know, sadly, it's so crazy because my last year living in Dallas, he passed, and it was so crazy because I had no idea. But the impact he's made in my family, and I feel across the world, speaks volumes. And for him to be a history maker, for him to open the doors for a lot of artists to have a platinum single, just goes to show you that he needs to be respected as such. Because yes, you can have a platinum album, but the singles make your record. So for me, Johnny will always. I ain't gonna be under his. I wasn't gonna be on one of his pimp girls, but you know. Johnny R.I.P. But not me.
Yeah. But Chasity, I really appreciate you picking this because I don't think anyone has picked like a blues centric type of artist. So and that is something me and JR love too. Like I think sometimes people try to pigeonhole like and maybe think we only like certain kinds of music and that's not true. We all over the place. It's stuff that me and JR love that people would never really even imagine. So I love when people come and pick something kind of outside of our normal thing that we talk about, because then we can like no, we love this too. Like we grew up on this too. Like so I love that you picked a song like this.
And because I love Johnny my heart. So Timogen, I love you for this, and thank you so much for giving that for me because this means the world to me. Because now I have something of Johnny that I can hold forever.
Oh,
I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we thank you always, sis, for kicking it with us. You're the best. And how about you tell people how they can find you and about your platform?
Yes, definitely.
Excuse me, platforms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sis. Definitely catch me on Midnight R&B Edition. The letters R&B Edition on Instagram, and definitely catch me on YouTube Midnight R, and then it's the Accent R&B Edition as well.
Yes. Well, we also appreciate everyone who comes and hangs out with us every week when we be kicking it musically. And yeah, we love y'all. Bring us some more cousins by subscribing, sharing, liking. Should tell somebody in line at the grocery store. I don't know. Just tell them about us. Like if you love R&B or you want to know more about it, check out J. Aura and Elise and why they be kicking science.
Okay, kinds of music.
And we will definitely catch y'all on the next Catch That. Hey y'all, and welcome back to another fan mini episode of Catch That, where we get to know our friends through their favorite R&B songs. I am naturally Elise, and that's my bro,
JR.
And we are the R&B representatives. And we are welcoming back a face that I'm sure you're very familiar with. And that is our good homeboy, our good brother, good cousin, Keith KB Burrows. What up?
Hey. Just call me Good Keith.
Good Keith.
We black. We all family. But yeah.
That's right. Amen.
It's been a long time since we've had the chance to get together.
You better.
Yes. So glad to be back here with my fam, the R&B representatives. Yes.
Yes. So we gonna skip all the formalities and such.
Yes.
And we gonna jump right into it because if they don't know you by now, okay. They will never know you. So what song did you pick to talk about today? And do you remember the first time hearing it?
Well, I do not remember the very first time I heard it. I never do. I think I'm probably one of the few guests on here that's going on a long streak. but I'm not remembering when I first heard the song. But the song that I chose is "Spend the Night" by Dave Hollister. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And what? Not a whole but
Right.
what how did you I'm BJR. So how did you get into Dave Hollister?
Oh my God.
Hey, that was good, Lee. That was good.
Okay,
Well,
so we're on a regular catch that. Okay, got it.
hey, I'm just going with the flow. So however y'all want to go, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I first became familiar with Dave Hollister more so when he was a part of Blackstreet from the first album. However, I had heard stuff that he was a part of before, but just didn't know at that time that it was him. For example, him doing vocals on Brenda's Got a Baby and Keep Your Head Up by the late great Tupac Shakur. Also, from Boys in the Hood, the song called Spirit, Does Anybody Care by Force One Network.
Yes.
I didn't know that was him doing basically
either.
lead vocals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't either.
Because I think it may have just been for that song or maybe other songs on the Force One Network album that he was a part of, but Spirit was the one that I knew of at that time from him. And then, you know, he was on, like I said, Blackstreet's first album, and then he started his solo career with Ghetto Hymns and then Chicago 85, the movie, you know what I'm saying? And then his later albums after, I didn't really become quite as familiar with, but Ghetto Hymns and Chicago 85, those two albums are super dope. Super dope. Yes, and like Ghetto Hymns, you can tell that he was just aggressive and just going through some things. You know what I mean? Like even with My Favorite Girl and Baby Mama Drama and you know, what's the other song? Can't Stay. You know what I'm saying? There's some dope joints on that album, but Spend the Night.
A Chicago nigga on that album, for real.
Yes, he is.
For real. Like,
if you got a song called Came in the Door Pimpin', what'd that tell you?
Right.
Featuring Too Short. Just saying.
You would never think.
If you gonna do it, you do it all the way. You gonna write some pimp shit? Hell yeah, you get fucking Too Short. You'd be a fool not to. Why not?
I mean, I can't blame him. You know what I'm saying? So, but I love the Chicago 85 album because it showed more of a somewhat vulnerable side of Dave.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Not all the way through, but like for the most part with songs like One Woman Man and Destiny and Take Care of Home. Excuse me. So that was a super dope album, but Spend the Night just really stood out to me because of what he's talking about, how it was written, and I gotta give a shout out to Warren Campbell on the production and also Eric Dawkins for helping to co-write, which I think that for that particular album, they pretty much all three, you know, did the bulk of that album, which is Chicago Wins, The Saga Continues, which I don't believe it to be a sequel to Chicago 85, but it was his first R&B album in about like 10 or so years. Because it came out. Yes.
I have a confession.
Okay.
I had never heard that song a day in my life before you picked it.
Really?
I totally missed that album, which I was talking to JR trying to figure out how I missed it. And I know how I missed it is because my 2010s, like, radio was really finished. So you weren't like put on to new stuff because of the radio.
Right.
Then I went back to look at the song. It wasn't in a lot of publications. I was looking at a lot of the soul and R&B blogs and stuff. They didn't have anything about it except for like one. And it was just one article about the single. and that was
Right.
it. And so I just totally, I kind of knew he was coming back out, but then I was like, I didn't hear anything, so
It
so
just
I skimmed through and listened to the album, and I really like it.
I did. It's a
Really,
great album.
it's a
It
solid
it
is.
album.
sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially
No.
for somebody that's coming back to
Mhm.
after for so many years. You know what I'm saying? He was doing gospel stuff. I think the last album was what? The Real Talk album in 2003, I think.
I
Was
think
that
it was
it? It was
2003.
that. It was, yeah, like 2003. So after that, it was gospel. And he actually
Yeah.
explained why when he, you know what I'm saying? And then he came back and did this. And I love that our R&B artist was getting back with Warren. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? A lot of artists was going to Warren. You know what I mean? Kelly Price
Mhm.
did with her 2011 album, which was fucking amazing. Like that was an
Mhm.
amazing body of work. He started working with Brandy. Then he got, then he did Shame with Tyrese.
Oh, that's right. He
And,
did do
and
Shane.
so
Really?
you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shame with Tyrese.
Oh, Tyrese.
Mhm.
Okay, I just didn't hear you. Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So he did that, and it was just like everybody was going to Warren, and he was giving you that R&B. But like you said, sis, during that time, radio was dead. So if you didn't know it was on the radio, you weren't gonna hear it. It wasn't
Right.
gonna be promoted. It was like these when you had to go online and actually search for this. And I actually caught it because I was on YouTube
Yep.
and I had my audio playing and auto playing, and it came on, and I was like, "Yo, who is?" I was
Hmm.
like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, "This sound like Dave." Wait a minute, hold up. And I thought Teddy did it because it sounded like a Black Street type of record.
I was
Yes, it
just
does.
about to say that. Teddy did do a remix though.
He
He
did.
did.
He did.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
he
but
did.
he didn't even have to because the original sounded like Teddy
Exactly.
Riley to a
Yes.
T.
Yes. It
Yes.
sounded like this
Exactly.
song could have been on Black Street's debut. Like for
Yep.
real.
Yep.
It really felt like that.
Dang, I swear. Everything y'all are just saying, I was thinking about like, okay, I need to make sure I'm mention that when we talking because this is
Yeah,
exactly what I was thinking. Yes,
I did.
absolutely.
And I was just like, whoa, did Teddy really? I was like, yo, like, mind you. And I'm like, is he coming out with an album? And like you said, sis, it wasn't a lot of publications talking about it. So I
Right.
had to really find and search. And I was like, he coming out with another album. I was like, oh, shit, okay.
Yeah.
And I listened to it and I was like, now, like you said, Ghetto Hymns and Chicago 85, that's classic stuff. This
Mhm.
album was good. Now, if
Yeah.
you were ready to compare, then you were gonna be disappointed then. Like, don't,
Yeah.
that's when you start
Yeah.
doing yourself dirty. But what I like is Warren gave him what it was him, Eric Dawkins, right? Yeah, Eric
Air Dawkins.
Dawkins
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
Warren. They gave him the sound that we were familiar with
Yeah.
from Dave. It was
Mm.
like, oh yes, okay, like other songs that they did, like Cole. If Cole is a
Woo.
dope joint that I love too, and
Yes.
what's his name, Mac Wiles, co-wrote that.
I saw that. I saw
Yes,
that. Yeah.
yes.
Yep.
So you know what I'm saying?
Shout
Yes.
out
So
to
it was like
Paul.
this was dope. But
Yeah.
Spend the Night is such a two-step record. It's
Yes.
his audience. He knew who his audience was. He knew his audience was gonna vibe with this. They ain't got time to be. This is 2014. We know that this trap joint is owning radio right now. It's Drake. Is this? Is Little Big? Whatever these little kids' names is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Right.
saying, like
Big
I
guy.
don't.
Yeah.
Don't be that
Everybody was
old
Yeah.
guy.
saying big,
Don't
not even medium.
I
You
don't.
know?
Yeah, I sound like an old uncle, right? Just
don't,
now.
don't be that. Don't be that old guy. Not that
Yeah,
one.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm sorry. Yeah,
You sound
I.
like my father. Lil whoever, Lil flippity flop out. I'm like, what?
I'm
What was I
sorry.
even
Right, you right. You
Yeah.
right. I ain't
Yeah.
trying to down the new generation right now. I ain't trying to sound like no OG. Like,
Yeah.
nah, this is what sounds good. Y'all shit don't. But no, he did this and he knew his audience, and I thought it was great. I thought it was such a dope dope record. And I was like, I wish it would have done better than what it did, but we knew what the climate was and all that good stuff. But it was such a dope record. And like you said, it was well written too. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And what did I say? I said this too. I said Dave is always begging to do something at night with somebody. Because if you listen to Before I Let You Go, he's begging for a kiss, good night. And then now with this, he's begging to spend the night. But at least this one was on some grown shit. Like, he want to spend the night forever. You know, back in 95.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. No, because let me tell you, I was thinking about this too. I don't know how many songs are out there that are titled Spend the Night, but you just nailed it. Where this Spend the Night is different because he's saying he wants to spend the night with his significant other for the rest of their lives. Whereas other Spend the Nights are mostly about, you know, either just hit it and quit it, or literally just spend the night with this person and then that's it, or it's not in the same context as the way Dave presented it. Because I mean, look, you got
it's a lot of songs named Spend the Night that I really like.
You got the Brothers.
Yes, yeah, Spend the Night, ce soir.
Oh, spend the night with me tonight.
Speaking of Teddy,
Rashawn Patterson.
Yes. And then Guy, speaking of Teddy, Spend the Night.
Guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for real, I just realized they have one.
Yeah.
In Phase. You remember the group In Phase? You said
Donnell Jones? No.
Huh?
Why? No, I'm talking about the song you just said, sis. Who?
Donnell Jones has a Spend the Night.
On Life of a Gemini. That's right. That's right. That's why I was like, who?
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire got to spend the night. Who else? Soul for Real got to spend the night.
Soul for Real. You remember the group In Phase?
Yep, they got one. Rick James got to spend the night. Bill Withers got a song, I Want to Spend the Night.
Yes, he sure do. Yeah.
Look, that album right there.
That's on the album with all the flowers on it.
Yes.
How do you say it? Menagerie?
Menagerie. Yeah, that got Lovely Day on it. Yeah, that.
Look, Let Me Be the One You Need, side note from that album. Man, you better come on with it.
Yeah. Even non-R&B, even Cameron got a song called Spend the Night.
I can't. Okay, so what we're saying here, y'all, don't use that title no more. Everybody has used the title of Spend the Night, please.
But I like the way Dave presented his version of Spend the Night, because even from the beginning, he's saying diamonds may be forever, but they'll never outshine our love. Look,
that's my fucking lyric right there. I hate you, but I love you, but I hate you. But go ahead.
And he said, you hold my world together, made me forget how life was before you. That's what, man, look. Whoo! That pen game is crazy. Shout out to Eric again, man.
Yes.
Look, but I love how he started off saying diamonds may be forever, but they'll never outshine our love. Because, you know, you always hear diamonds are a girl's best friend. Shout out to Herb Albert, Janet, Jimmy and Terry. That's a dope song. You know what I'm saying? But he's just saying diamonds may be forever. They ain't gonna never outshine our love.
That's a lyric.
What to tell you?
That is a lyric.
That is a lyric.
And I was like, yo, you can't beat songwriting like that.
Right. And how he comes off singing is so smooth, because it's like, if you think about like My Favorite Girl, he's like, what's wrong with your shady ass? Wake me up early in the morning, still yawning. Whereas Spend the Night, he's like, diamonds may be forever. Yes. You know, and then he does his little Davism. It's like, oh, you hold my world together. You know what I'm saying? That's that church in him. Yeah. He still keeps it church.
Yeah.
Very soulful.
So unique and special about Dave is that you don't get a lot from power singers, male or female. is the control that he has. He has one of the most precise, like it's surgical.
Yeah.
Like, but it's a power voice, but he can make it, you know, like you said, what's going on, or he can give you a, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but it's right. It's very
Yeah.
calculated. It's
because even when he said
it should
leave me
be
alone,
studied.
he's like, yeah, man. Whew, that's
it
one
should
to
be
study.
studied. I'm so glad you said that because nobody ever says that about Dave. He has a powerful voice. It's so powerful, but again, it's controlled. Because, damn, I was just thinking about this. God damn, sis, get out of my mind. Because I was listening last week. I was listening before I let you go, right? And then I was listening to Joy. He could have did both if he wanted to because of the control he had in his voice. Because I was like, I could imagine him doing Joy too. But Levi did his thing on it. But I still could see Dave eating Joy up that way, and it's still not being as like powerful. But he could have made it. You could still feel him. Before I let you go, of course, he had to bring that church out. You know what I'm saying? He had no choice. But then it was a vulnerability to it. And that's what I like about Dave because he's so controlled. Yes. And it's just so calculated. Like, sis, get out of my head. I'm done.
I like it there. It's nice and warm. It's a lot of space.
Yes.
I bet. I was like, what the hell? Because you, again, at least know I love Dave Hollister as well. So it was just like, for her to say that, I was like, and she used the right words. I'm like,
yeah. Well, and then he just continues to just be very smooth and just soulful. Even in the second verse where he's like, I see you even when I close my eyes. That lets me know that you're here, ain't going nowhere. Right height, right size, that frame, you're just my type. And then he's like, that little that came from the heart. You know that.
You better believe it.
Well, at least he said all that positive stuff and didn't tell her she want his kind of girl.
Okay.
Look, it's not the look.
You know. He said, "No, you just my type." I'm like, "All right, you better know what you want."
Yeah.
But when you grow, you do know what you want. When you get older, like I think when younger, it's more like I don't want this. But when you older, you like I want this, this, and this. Like definitively what you want.
Right. That's why this was a grown song too. And then I do like again they used the talk box.
Yes. Yeah.
But they didn't use it too much.
Right.
Because this is the time that auto-tune was clearly used a lot.
Yes.
So obviously they might have thought, let's put the little talk box on it because maybe it would get commercial attention. You know what I mean? But it still was a great song if you use it.
I just had a thought. I wonder if Warren, when they were making it, if it was like kind of a homage to Teddy, and that's why Teddy did a remix for the song. Maybe it was kind of a mutual respect, like he probably said from the jump, yo, man, I'm making a song. It's very your flavor. Like, can you hop on the remix? Or it felt like that. It felt like kind of giving honors because it wasn't 100% a Teddy product, but it was the flavors of a Teddy. It just all makes sense.
Because I appreciate the Teddy Riley remix, but I also feel like if he didn't do the remix, that would be totally fine because, like you said, Elise, Spend the Night, the album version sounds like a Teddy Riley production, but with Warren's, input in it. And like you said, it could have been like a homage to Teddy or, just showing him some love. But the production on that is just crazy.
And even though it's a lot of Teddy feel to it, it's still a Warren. Like it sounds like Warren, but it's with just a little different flavor on it than what he usually does.
And that's what Warren was good. He's so good as a producer doing that. You know what I mean? Like when people will come to his label, because what is his label?
My block.
My Block, that's right. When people
Mhm.
come to his label, he like, look, I'm following behind you. Like whatever you want to do, I'm with you. I'm just want to add on. And that's what he did with all the artists that he worked with. And when you listen to this, you like, yeah, this is Warren, but I'm still getting the Dave that I love from Ghetto Hymns and
Yeah.
Chicago 85. Like you
Yeah.
still getting that vibe, but it's still Warren. And that's what I like about Warren's production as well. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Absolutely.
Go on, Warren.
All
You
right.
get your respect. Cause like I said, Warren don't get his respect either. Because
No.
Warren did a lot. And I'm even talking about in the 90s. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like he
yeah.
was working with if you look on them keys, he was with Brandy on them keys.
Mm-hmm.
Look in them
Yes, he
live
was.
performances back in the 90s.
Yeah. And still is.
And
Yeah.
still,
Are you
he
guys
gets a
familiar
lot.
with
He don't get a lot of due. I really feel like Warren don't get. Everybody think he just Mary. No.
No.
He's
I mean,
way
you
more
know,
than that.
DJ Quick, uh, yeah, the list just goes on and on and
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with the Walls Group?
Yes.
So their newest album is on My Block, and I believe Warren either produced the whole album or again the bulk of it. And Teddy Riley is featured on one of the songs, so I would think probably they've maintained a great friendship over the years. So I would think, as far as us talking about the
Wow,
whole
yo.
deal.
Damn, I did not even know that they had their new album out though.
Mm-hmm. I can't
Wow.
remember the name. Oh, I think it's called Four Walls.
Yep, and it came out in February.
Yes.
Oh,
Bypass me.
wow, Mr. New R&B bangers.
That's cute. That was
I
real
just
cute.
happened to notice it. You know what I mean? And that's
And
like,
I mean,
Keith,
JR,
it.
I be needing you, because if not, I ain't gonna find nothing to do. Because I get in my little comfort zone. Once you pass a certain age, like you get in this cocoon where you just
Yeah.
want your little safe music that you have and that you've
right.
lived with for so long. And so you have to bust me out of the jail of my own making. You gotta bust me out.
Yes. I'm sorry I missed it. I'm sorry.
Well, y'all made a good point though, as far as like the rollout of this particular album from Dave. Because I think I found out about it by seeing it online through articles or whatnot, saying, oh, Dave Hollister's got a new album coming out. And it's an R&B album because, like you said, he had done between Real Talk and Chicago Winds, there were 2 gospel albums that he did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't remember when in that period, but there was also an album he did with Fred Hammond, Eric Roberson, and Brian Courtney Wilson.
Yes.
Called the United Tenors.
United Tenors. Yep.
Yeah. So that joints too. And so, yeah, man, just Spend the Night to me also gives me a feel of, again, because it's a Warren production, Take You Out.
Yep. Yes. Yep.
But, just a slower version and more, because Take You Out is grown as well because Luther singing it. You know what I mean? And Warren, I think, tailored that so well for Luther to sing that. To me, I think he could have even sung Spend the Night.
Oh, yeah. Luther could have ate that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm sorry, I got to bring it back, but maybe Freddie too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think any song that Luther would sound good on, Freddie would sound good on, and vice versa.
Yeah.
That's forever my opinion on that. Yes. They're going to give you something different, but it's going to be equally dope. And that's just what it is.
Yeah. Agreed.
But I feel like, Warren just was able to tailor that for Dave too, especially just coming back from doing 2 gospel albums prior and be like, hey, let's break this out. And then, like we said, the album itself is a really solid album.
It
I really
is.
like Take This Picture too. That's another one. But Spend the Night, like now I can say it definitely resonates with me because that's something that I would definitely say to my current love of my life, my fiance, Emily. At the time it came out, though, we weren't together. So now, though, I can say that that's who, I would want to spend the night with for the rest of my life.
Oh, that's what I was waiting for. That's what I was waiting for this whole show. I was like, when is he going to say it? That's what I'm waiting for this. I got you, Emily girl. He wasn't going to get off this without saying that. No.
Now you know they love shine brighter than the diamond.
What's that? What'd you say, Elise?
I said, you know they love shine brighter than a diamond.
Right.
It'll never outshine our love.
Never.
No.
It's bright. It's bright for no reason. Just
Just
oh, God. I can't.
No. I just think it's just a great romantic song. Like you said, JR, it's a good two-step song. And it's like, you could be either just, with your partner, just like pretending you singing it to her. Be like, girl, I wrote this for you. You know what I'm saying? No, damn well, you did not. I mean, I would pretend to. But
that's when we used to use lyrics and act like we wrote them.
It's like Martin on House Party. Remember when he was dancing with the girl? He said, "You so warm and fluffy, like a buttermilk biscuit, always and forever." Go, you know what I'm saying? But no, and even the bridge though is just like him saying, "Ooh, say what you wanna, like Vicky's Secrets, I'm up on you. Ooh, call me crazy, can't let you get away. You give me that good loving, that Harlem Night sunshine." That confused me though. I'm like, how you talking about Harlem Night? And he's from Chicago.
That's why another Teddy for me, because Teddy from Harlem.
It's right? Supposed to be weirdos.
I wouldn't remember all that.
If you threw, I got a girl, it's so good, you throw it in the air, turn into sunshine.
Oh, see, you hit me to some game, girl.
That was Della Free. She said that. Oh, y'all.
I got a confession to make though. I ain't watched Harlem Nights in its entirety.
Oh. That's adorable. But yeah.
Well, we'll join y'all next time on the next Cashapp.
He's like, I feel uncomfortable right now.
I'm on my cue. Oh, snap.
But yeah, that's what he was getting it from the movie Harlem Night.
Okay, got it.
That's the popular line from it.
Got you.
I wasn't thinking about it. I'm thinking I was so into the Teddy thing. I'm like, oh, not realizing, duh.
See, I was right there with you,
good. You throw it in the air and it turned into sunshine.
The sunshine, yep.
See, I'm always quoting Coming to America, so I always stay stuck there.
Everybody do too.
You know what I mean? I know. I know. I hadn't yet though, so. Oh, I almost. Okay, that's my favorite. Just take the soup. Where's the spoon?
Yes, Keith. Thank you for joining us.
Fun as usual.
Oh, man. Thank y'all so much. But yeah, if y'all get a chance to, whoever is watching this, check out Dave Hollister's album, Chicago Wins, The Saga Continues, as well as his other albums in his discography, because the boy is a beast. He is a beast.
And
yes,
is.
And is, yes.
So. Well, Keith, how about you tell folks how they can find you and all your various things that you do? And make sure you talk about your new podcast. Don't you forget to talk about that.
Yes.
No, I appreciate y'all. But y'all can find me on Facebook under Keith Burrows. KeithBurroughs. I'm on Instagram under Keith R. Burroughs. And I'm on TikTok under KBEE 3278. And yes, I am fortunate to have a new podcast with my bro that goes by the name Lank. And it's called Spilling Thoughts, What's in the What? And we just share our perspectives and break down song lyrics and just, do it for entertainment purposes to just talk about songs that we enjoy, but also raise the question, what in the what? And so the current episode we have is about the song You're the One by SWV.
Hilarious.
And I will say that, it's a trifling bop. I'll call it that. And, you know what I mean? And they know it. Everybody that's heard the song knows it. But we just, again, are presenting in an entertaining way with no disrespect, just our thoughts and everything on the song. So you can find that on my YouTube channel. And it's basically under Keith Burroughs. And again, I appreciate y'all and I love y'all. And, I hope to be able to come back and, I'll try not to do a Come to America quote. I can't promise you that.
Right.
We good on you. It was a good
Right.
run.
Right.
Donations. I thought it was trash. Oh.
I just thought about how disrespectful I just was. I said, make sure you tell about your little podcast.
Oh. This is a show. Catch that. Oh, I caught it. You handed me the ball with that one.
I didn't catch it after I said it, and I was like, why did I say it like that?
Yes, I was just like, oh, okay.
No. And look, I just appreciate y'all even mentioning it, let alone, checking it out. And thank y'all so much once again.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And we also thank all our viewers that hang out with us every week and kick it, especially the ones that kick it in the live chat every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's a lot of fun. It's a family. We want more cousins, so bring us some more cousins.
Cousin
Keith and all them. And we really appreciate it. And we would love anybody watching to subscribe, like, and share. And we will catch y'all on the next Catch Back.
Peace.